The 2026 NEBA season is brought to you by Storm, Roto Grip, and 900 Global Bowling. We would like to recognize the additional sponsors who make these events possible. Tired of guessing how you're really performing on the lanes? Take control of your game with Tournament Sense, the ultimate companion for tournament bowlers. From tracking every frame to managing financials, it's time to stop playing and start dominating. Download Tournament Sense on the App Store or Google Play today. DJBT is a competitive tournament series built for youth bowlers, with adult participation on challenging sport patterns. A PBA junior affiliate and youth athletes can earn junior gold qualifying spots. KR Strike Force. For those who have a choice, go with the most trusted name in bowling. KR Strike Force. Cambridge Credit Counseling is your destination for debt relief services. Visit cambridgecredit.org to learn how they can help you with credit card debt, student loan repayment options, and mortgage relief services. NEBA's longest-running sponsor, Buddy's Pro Shop, offers high-quality professional services at the best prices in the industry delivered to your front door. Visit buddysproshop.com today. Bloomfield Electric, providing service, design, and installation since 1926. Jeff Barden and his staff offer fantastic bowling facilities at Yankee Lanes Keene and Yankee Lanes Manchester. Visit them on Facebook, Twitter, and their tournament Facebook page. Northeastern Bowling Championships. Ace Mitchell Bowlers. Mart is the largest bowling distributor in the world. Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe in the world. Staying ahead with innovative technology is how we build shoes for every style of bowling. Follow on Facebook and Instagram at Dexter Bowling. Better Bowling Concepts, specializing in customer service and providing customers the best ball motion possible. East Coast Sports Investors, your leading source of sports information, many styles of bowling. Keep styling on them. Turbo Grips, driven to bowl. For more information on products and services, you can visit turbogrips.com or visit your local pro shop today. Taking bowling and business and marketing their products and services in a modern way, Major Bowling offers quality services and coaching regardless of skill level. Here to help you look great while you enjoy the most participated sport in America. Discover unique bowling shirts and jerseys at iambowling.com and use code NEBA for 25% off. Better feel, better control, better performance. Jopo grips are changing the game with their easy twist system and unmatched consistency. Make the change today and feel the difference immediately. Jopo grips, trust it, love it, and just twist it. Located inside Norwich Bowling and Entertainment Center, Ideal Bowling Concepts is your one-stop shop for all your bowling needs. Leah Cars, the brand of cars for the bowling community. Bullwinkle's Pro Shop, Attack the Rack. We would also like to thank Tony and Suzanne Renaud. Island Bowling Supply, The House Bowling, Tech Vision, Northeast Megabucks, Grog Monster Sports, and Pinwheel.us. Thank you for tuning in. Now remember to like and share and enjoy the show.
And gentlemen, we're here. We're having a fun time. If you're joining us just now, we are just about to have a live interview with the winner of the 2026 Buddy's Pro Shop Open event right here at Nutmeg Bowl just last weekend. This was Ryan's first title. And if you know anything about winning your first title, it's just an experience in and of itself. And it's something else to feel when you finally get to break through after multiple attempts. Ryan actually has had multiple title shots. He's finished second twice at the Green Mountain State Open up in Vermont. So my man knows how to bowl in Vermont, and now he knows for sure how to bowl in Connecticut. And trust me, he knows how to bowl plenty outside of that. So just to talk about our event a little bit, it was held on the 2023 USBC Masters condition. Now, I don't really recall how that played at the actual Masters, but when it was here at Nutmeg, these scores were low, the pattern played difficult, and the bowlers that succeeded were the ones who were able to stay out of the split zone of a mess that was. There was a lot of conditions, and we'll just go ahead and take a look at the pattern itself real quick. Nutmeg is notorious for being able to play the gutter. The gutter is very much in play, but if anything, for this event, it was almost too much. It was almost too much bounce off the gutter. And then if you were a little up inside that, it didn't really do too much at all. So your real trick here was to be pretty much between first and second arrow for the most part, and just kind of being able to control the front part of the lane, almost kind of pointing it at the 1-3. And then if you were lucky, you were able to get the bounce off the gutter once in a while. But the most success we had seen from players was a lot of people playing much straighter, as we're going to talk about with our champion here in just a minute. Now, moving on from the pattern, our next event, if you're interested in joining the NEBA festivities, we have another title chance for you coming up in Brockton, Massachusetts, with the Westgate Lanes, the major bowling singles event. It's their first time hosting, or very least sponsoring an event. So shout out to Major Bowling. $1,500 added between them and the folks at Westgate. So shout out to them for that. It's also another Vincent Hall Memorial qualifying event. So please go ahead and get yourself in for one of those. The top 8 advance, you get to bowl a little extra money towards the end of the year. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guy in, Ryan Ladlee. Let's come to the stage. Let's see if we can get you up here anyway. And add our bowling to the stage too. Ryan, welcome.
How we doing? Good to be with you.
Yeah. So exciting times that you just had this past weekend, and hopefully get to carry it forward. Since it's still probably a little bit fresh on your mind, tell us a little bit about what it means to you to have won your first NEBA title.
It's amazing. I know how special it is. Just from the years of trying to get one and seeing the type of talent that exists out there and wins out there, I know how much it means. That's one of the things that draws me into NEBA is the competition.
Sure.
Second to none. So I've had a few champions reach out to me already and welcome me to the club. Believe me, it means a lot. It really does. A lot of
sure.
people
It's a very elite club, and if no one is familiar with how elite, you just got to go to bowlneba.com and check out the champions list and Hall of Fame list. You're going to see plenty of notable names on that, and it's not by mistake. These guys are super good, and even I got humbled coming from college bowling and from other regions. Coming to NEBA is just a different experience here, at least on a consistent basis. I mean, you have some other regions that have some strong bowlers, but no event pumps out consistent high-level bowlers like the way that NEBA does. I just don't believe it if you say so. So a little bit about your event. You qualified on the 9 a.m. squad with plus 57. The cut on your particular squad was only plus 15, which I think was also the at-large cut, mistakenly. So a solid qualifying score. I want to talk to you a little bit more so about what you did in the, we'll call it match play, but it really was an eliminator format. So if you guys aren't familiar with the eliminator format, most of the time NEBA's doing a match play, but this time everybody jumped into the field. It was a 1-round bye, so the first round was a little smaller, but they cut it in half, and then you just keep bowling. You keep bowling in top half, all the way up until the finals. What was impressive about this is the tournament leader as far as qualifying was concerned, I believe was only right around plus 122, plus 123. And that was off of the 1230 squad, which was a little higher scoring in comparison. Your 5-game match or eliminator total was plus 127, I believe. So you outpaced the leader in qualifying by a couple pins there. And that, I think, is just speaking to your decision making, your ball choices, your shot making, all of those things. So let's jump a little back and talk to me about your qualifying, the lines you were playing in relation to what we're going to see, as well as the ball choices you made throughout qualifying to be able to even get into this position.
A little while ago, I drilled a Zero Mercy solid for these types of conditions. Is I feel like you get this long, tight type of pattern here and at nationals really are probably the only 2 times you see it. And seeing that at nationals the last couple of years, I didn't really feel like I had a great ball for it, especially once you kind of burn that area around 5 up, and I had to try to move in from it. So Zero Mercy solid was an easy choice for me, and boy did it pay off. Having that. And
I can relate to that. That's what I won my first title, was that Zero Mercy solid. That is a all around really good big ball, and I feel like maybe others feel a little bit differently, but I haven't had a really good usable big asymmetric ball in a long time. I have ones that are like, oh, you have to have like the perfect amount of volume or the perfect amount of length to get it to do the right thing. And I feel like we could use this ball on just about anything that does the right thing all the time. So it's very, very strong, very big. It does.
Totally agree with that. Yeah.
So you use that throughout that day?
The only time I didn't use that ball was in the semifinals. I'd hit that pair in the round of 8 and I was losing my look. And I didn't feel I only shot 200 in the round of 8 and I didn't feel like that was going to do it. So I jumped into my GB5 solid and kind of rolled up a little earlier and a little more forward and controllable. And it got me through there. And then I already had it in my head when we were getting off that pair. I figured I was going to get back into the Zero Mercy, and I did.
And it's funny that you made that change there and caught on to that. I know you said that you had only bowled a 200 for that particular game, but that really the 200 part of that was kind of an illusion because I think like the first 8 frames you were pacing probably 240, and then you had some take-ups in there towards the end because I mean you had a really really good look there, and then you just made that change and drew the same pair, which I thought was kind of funny. Well, it didn't necessarily draw it; it was kind of predetermined, but prior to that it was. And then yeah, for you to make that change and force that 223 in there, that was really really cool. So I'm actually going to play. Just because I don't want to get missed at the end of this. This is the very last shot, or not the very last shot, obviously your 10th frame here that we have pulled up. And I just want to try to get the audio good enough for people to hear the just a raw emotion of the shot that really, your deal is already sealed at this point, but the one where it's like, all right, now I did it, first shot, and the fan absolutely stuffed it. So we're going to play that real quick. And that'll be it, folks. There he is.
Way to do it.
Championship.
A lot of emotion.
And so much. And that was it right there. I feel like super relatable to anybody who's won NEBA. It's just the finally moment. And when you said finally, it's like, man, if there was a relatable moment to all the NEBA competitors, I feel like that is the one. Finally able to break through. It's very, very cool to witness that. And we had a lot of comments on that alone. So yeah, very cool. So we'll go ahead and I'll get our match rewound here. You bowled Tyler Sudell, who, interestingly enough, you actually crossed with him 3 games straight. You both were on that particular pair to the left there, 33 and 34 for the round of 8. You guys drew for the next round, or the semifinals, obviously, and then you ended up bowling each other at the end. You get to watch Tyler a little bit throughout that entire part of it. Did you have any concerns that maybe he was going to run you over, he's going to keep you on your toes, or anything like that? That looks fantastic.
Well,
Great shot.
I mean,
Way to start out championship.
he was left of me with his purple, and I felt like that was only going to just push me a little hold because I didn't feel like I could get out of the zone I was in. Like at the end of the round of 8, I made like I saw that I was guaranteed to get through, so I tried to move in probably the last 2 frames and it looked terrible. So I knew no matter what, I was going to stay right of him anyway. And if anything, he was going to be able to help me. But yeah, I know just from being there in the past that even if they're tough, it's probably going to take a big game. Like no matter who you face, when you get towards the end of the tournament, the cream's rising towards the top. It's either some of the best competitors or the people that are having the best day, that day. So either way, luckily I was able to spend the whole day in my comfort zone. I know everybody probably has one where you see the lanes the best, your ball roll matches up the best. And to me, those are like green light specials. So like you get to see that, you get to see the look you want to see. Those are the days where you feel like you gotta get it. And fortunately, I was able to.
And you're absolutely right as far as let me bump this bit volume back down. My apologies. I don't want to start a reverb. But as far as being in your comfort zone after, because I didn't really get to watch it too much during qualifying, but once we started watching a little bit more in match play, it was very apparent as to why you were there. Now, I don't think it's any secret that you don't necessarily like to cover the entire lane. You don't have a monstrous rev rate, and really you like to keep your angles a little tighter in general. But you're more so, I would classify you as more of a shot maker anyway. So rather than somebody who has to rely on a ton of areas. So, and I feel like that is what played right into not only the patterns, but the center and what it was asking for the entire time. It was really cool to just watch you be able to navigate the lane from basically the round of 8, which was right in front of me, all the way up into the finals. So were you pretty much in that exact area the entire day?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't move a whole lot. Usually when I can play out there, I can trick it enough to stay there. A little more ball speed, a little more loft. I couldn't really go with more rotation because then the ball would just go 60 feet. But it was kind of a combination of those two things that would, I was fortunate to be able, I'd get to certain pairs and see the difference almost immediately, especially because we got to warm up on every pair during the finals. I was crossing with a pretty solid veteran. I think Tim, I can't remember his last name. And he actually bowled before me in the cross. So like I'd see him throw a shot and kind of get what the pair was doing. So I didn't waste too many frames getting acclimated once I got to
is it Tim Elsa?
No, Hunt maybe?
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Except for when we hit 11 and 12 in qualifying, maybe that pair probably should just be thrown right out the window. But if anybody shot 200 on that pair, God bless you.
And
you bowl there, you might know that. Like he told me, it was one of the worst pairs in the house. So if that's true, I certainly believe it.
If there was anybody asked, it's Forey, because I mean, I feel like he does. I think he has a little black book written of every pair in the Northeast. It feels like, especially a nutmeg, it's like in the back of his head. And I've been bowling here for half a decade now, and I still don't know necessarily every pair the way he does. I'm like, I know the high end a little bit. So it was really funny that he was able to do that kind of thing just about at every center. A unique thing that happened this weekend that's only happens about maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the year is that you're able to stay a little bit further right. I feel like more times than not in NEBA, everybody is chasing it, and it ends up becoming a mess, especially the 1230 squad. So it was very, very cool to be able to stay straight, and I think that is what obviously helped lead you and you be able to take advantage of that. And man, you absolutely stepped on him throughout that eliminator format there. That was really, really cool to see. So.
So like let's see. It's not just the NEBA, but like just a few times a year in general in tournaments, you don't really see. You're not really able to play that line.
At least not for long.
Yeah, doubles and singles and nationals probably the only other time where you can stay there.
Sure.
And it looks like this year again, it's probably be close to that. So can't wait.
Now, Ryan. Unrelated to USBCs, more so related to your pre-shot routine. That was another thing that Matt and I were talking about a little bit there, as it looks like you were really locked into your pre-shot routine. Is that something that you've worked on making sure it's the same every time? Was it something you were even conscious of doing there?
I have worked on it. I just feel like that's just, all the greats swear by that. And I just feel like that just kind of brings you to not just like an area of comfort, but like, just kind of one less subconscious thing you can do.
It brings you to the present, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Between that, like breathing, things like that is definitely something that works a ton. I think, especially early on, what might have shown a little bit more is your overall experience. Even though you've only had a couple championship match appearances, Tyler had not at this point. So his first 2 shots or so, and Matt and I had talked about this, it looked like he juiced it a little bit. And throughout this, you controlled the pace of the match. I'm not sure if that was also something you paid attention to, but between making sure that you were taking your time, making sure you were doing your pre-shot routine, I don't necessarily think it was like it was like a gamesmanship thing. I think that was just part of what you were doing, and I think that's another reason that ended up leading to your success. Is that something you would agree with?
Yeah, and if I took a little more time, it's probably more, not that I was conscious of it in the moment, but you never, like, I've been there a couple times, but you never know when you're getting back. I just kind of felt the sense of urgency in this match. And
Now, obviously, since we just talked about this, you had some experience in title matches. How are the nerves walking into this title match? Fairly settled, or did it take you a little bit?
I felt like I felt pretty confident because that's where I like to play the lanes. I love to play the gutter. Not that I was on the gutter, but out there.
Sure.
Like I don't know. I felt good. I really did.
That's probably the best part is when you're so locked in. It's like I'm not going to call it autopilot, but you're just like, no, I'm in the same part of the lane. I'm seeing exactly what I need to see, and it just, if anything, puts your mind at ease. It allows you to roll a little bit better.
Like I would say, like in the beginning of the match, it was funny because my 9-year-old son was watching the live stream and he was talking to me next day because I didn't get home till like midnight. He's like, I was worried when you left that split in the second. I'm like, well, I had that right lane pretty tight. And I just was like, make this ball hook, just to kind of see where almost like where it would hook.
Yeah, what's the limit there?
So I left that 4.79, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't bother me because I'm like, you know what? I needed to make this shot to find out. I came up in the third, left that 2.45. I don't think it was a good shot, but I felt like after I found out about that right lane, came back to it, made a good shot on it, then I probably took off from there. I haven't rewatched.
Yeah, and you really did take off. I mean, the one thing that also really impressed me, and that's just going back to your launch angles, the ball you're choosing, the way you're seeing the lanes, is how well, especially throughout what I got to see, how well you managed the 1-3, how well you just stayed in the pocket and short frame. Even obviously the 4.79 there in the pocket, just a little high, but I don't think there was maybe 1 or 2 shots out of 3 straight games that I watched where you missed the 1-3, and on this, that was super impressive, and it really spoke to how you even got there because me and qualifying and a lot of other people across it, you're leaving splits or washouts in both directions. You were 210ing, you were through the face. It was a whole mix of everything. I feel like once again that is another huge factor that what allowed you to succeed was I didn't see you split very often.
Yeah, I mean I made great shots most of the day, and just like anyone else, when I did get 7 or less. So yeah, I was even playing that angle. You paid for it. I just was. Yeah. I had a good day.
Now to go back to your ball just a little bit. Obviously, Zero Mercy right out of the gate, super strong, super stand-up piece. Did you adjust the surface at all during either qualifying, match play, both?
I did hit it with 500 during qualifying after they put the right pattern out. Because we're all hitting the 4-pin from there to start, and
that was something else. That was a little bit of an oopsie. If you guys, the folks at home don't know, we'd actually had a little bit of an error. They run a flex machine here. It's on a calendar, so it ran 1 through 24 like it did the night before, and they moved it to 40. And when they did, it went and switched automatically to the house. So they had to re-oil from was it 25 all the way up to 40 there. So a little bit of a hiccup there too. Unfortunately, it does happen. But yeah, they got it back on par pretty quick. So. But if anything, who knows? Maybe it helped out if they would have oiled that in the high end and it sat overnight or whatever it ended up being. Maybe the things worked out a little bit differently. But either way, it seemed like you were going to end up in the finals at very least. So yeah, so hats off to you for that. And actually, speaking of higher scores, this is where you did start taking off. Was this double here in the 5th and 6th? And really, I remember hearing Tyler come back and talking to Chris about the right lane because he had another one where it just kind of skated through the pattern he tightened up and the big four. And I think this is where maybe it was just myself, but at that point I wrote it off. I said, this is Ryan's match to win or lose. It's up to him now. It's if he wants it, he's going to go take it. So, and you absolutely did end up doing that. Is that something that is even crossing your mind at this point watching Tyler as he split there? Any type of relief, or is it just like, man, I'm just doing my thing and bowling my game?
Yeah, I mean, you might think it eases the tension a little bit to see your opponent struggle, but just as quickly, especially on this pattern, things can flip in an instant. So I made sure to stay in my lane, honestly. And it's all the old cliche, one shot at a time that everybody says, but that's a real thing. You have to. Like I said, any one of those frames where I don't strike, not only does it make the match a little tighter, but it probably makes him feel a little better. And next thing you know, he's stringing them again. You never know, right? So you got to keep the pressure on, and you keep the pressure on by just doing your own thing.
And that you did. We're going to keep touching on this because I feel like it's so important coming from somebody who was a collegiate coach. And I studied the game just like everybody else, knowing how important the pre-shot routine is to locking you into being able to compete at a higher level. And just what you were doing here was just textbook of that. I mean, we probably could have went through and just knew your exact pre-shot routine 4 or 5 shots in. We were like, he does this, and this. We even commented on it leading into the 10th because you had already had it wrapped up. We were like, is he going to go back to the pre-shot routine? Is he just going to try to get up, fire it off, and be done with it, and just move on and be a champion? And you did. To your credit, you stopped and still ended up going through your routine. And I think even that is something special in itself. Even after you won, that you were still going through the routine and you were you made great shots. I think you struck out in the 10th. If anything, you might have got 9 in the fill there. But
down the middle. But
so
I wanted to strike on that first one anyway. Like I wanted that.
And if anything, that was just the one that for you.
I wanted it to be that way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
With that release of emotion, I wanted it to follow a good shot.
And it did. I mean, that was as Pac-10 as it was going to get, and I think you went up to Pac-10 the very next shot too. But just to touch back on things like pre-shot routine, is that I'm trying to figure out because mental game isn't exactly at the top of anybody's list, a lot of people's list, as it should be, but mostly because there isn't a lot of material and it's not emphasized as much. Where did you pick up on the fact that, this is what I need to start adding to my game? Are there other mental game components that you start picking up? Where did you learn these things?
I feel like that routine in particular, it just makes my hand feel good in the ball. I'm trying to make sure my swing's tighter to my ankle there. And everything just kind of feels free. I wanted to put something together that just made me feel loose.
Sure. And if you don't know, for those of you also watching at home, you want to improve a little bit on your mental game and yourself. There are several mental game books out there. I have 2 that I can think off the top of my head that are really, really good. You have The Inner Game of Tennis, fantastic book. But more bowling related is Dr. Dean's Bowling Psychology. If you guys have a chance to read this, you want to be a competitive bowler, you have to read those and implement those things. I swear to you, you'll increase your average sitting on the couch if you go through, take it serious, take some notes out of it, and actually implement some of the stuff. You get better overnight. I'm not kidding. So shout out to anybody who takes advantage of that and at the very least tries to improve their mental game. Once again, going back to your pre-shot routine it was something else to watch.
I can tell you kind of a funny story related to that too, because I did have one key in my head. One thing I said to myself the whole day, as you can see on my hat, I got this moose here. That's my son's baseball team that I coach. We're the Blue Rocks.
Okay.
And I always tell the kids, I say, when the next pitch? Because they're always asking me, what's the score? What inning is it? Can I pitch or, whatever? I'm like, you know what? Go out and win the next pitch. You miss a grounder, get the next one. It's coming. You got to be ready for it.
That's fantastic.
Everything I try to boil down in this one key for these 9 and 10-year-olds. I was telling myself that during most of that finals that day. And then yesterday we had a game, and I showed him the picture that you posted yesterday, I think it was. And I told him, I said, I'm not just some old guy telling you stuff. I'm like, I'm living this too. I'm like, I want you to know, like, this works. And man,
Yeah, that's a fantastic way to put that. And, just going out and winning the next pitch. It's literally. I think it's great that you took it from them and were able to apply it immediately. And that it's like you said, it's definitely something that works. And at this point, at any level. So if you can ingrain it, I feel like it's much harder to ingrain it into an adult as it is than a kid probably would seem. Especially if you're able to get to them early on, and then it's kind of there moving forward. But some adults are so stubborn with that. So shout out to you to be able to start getting them to start working on that type of thing now. That's going to translate outside of baseball 100 times over. So very cool.
Yeah, they absolutely crushed it yesterday too. And I even had a kid, one of our players, come up to me after the game. He's like, "Did we win?" I'm like, I'd consider that a success because you were so busy playing you didn't even know. I mean, it wasn't close either. He didn't know. I'm like, awesome. Because I always tell him I don't know what the score is either usually until like the end of the game if I got to make a decision. Like, I don't like keeping the book. I just like seeing what's going on the field, make sure everybody's engaged. And I don't know, we're rolling. That's our motto from now on because it's working.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was going to say, definitely keep that in your playbook too, as far as bowling is concerned. But I figured what I was going to say. But just going back to the fact that your mental game was so sharp throughout that entire part, just the pre-shot routine part of it, just going through. I mean, like I said, I feel like that is just such the key thing that allowed you to stay making great shots. Many people don't really think about how obviously bowling's a very repetitious sport, but it all starts back off the approach. That's where everything starts. So if you don't do it consistently back there, it will not stay consistent up there. And man, it was just like a 1-to-1 show for you that day. It was really, really cool to witness.
Yeah, it was fun to be in control of myself in a moment where like being my best when it mattered the most is a goal that I had, and I definitely was that day. And that's what I'm the most proud of. That I was just in control throughout that.
Yeah, you really were from the entire time. I mean, I didn't write down the cut by cut area, but I think they were all right around 190. And you exceeded that the entire way, with the exception of the round of 8. Everybody scored low. I think even we were sitting there watching the scores, like, the cut's going to be like 180 for this. It's crazy. So, and it ended up being a little bit higher because some guys, I think Jeremy Harper actually punched out and it torched the cut number, which he did a couple times. So shout out to Jeremy for some good ball in there too. But I want to talk to you again just real quick and touch on the fact that your team didn't know that they had won until it was over. You obviously weren't really score watching. You're going up and making your shots. And I think that's when the best bowling is occurring, is when you don't know what the score is. You're able to look up at the end of it and you realize that you executed. And that was it. I mean, it was the execution that just blinded you, and you fell into the process. And I feel like that is such a huge thing in order to be a high-level competitive bowler, is understanding the process, falling into the process more so than the result. So, and if anything, you are a prime example of that this weekend. And hopefully we get to continue that moving forward, too. So, speaking of which, moving forward, we're moving on to the major bowling singles event in Brockton. Are you going to be at that one?
No, I'm actually bowling New York State Championships that weekend. It's just the weekend that we ended up being able to go. Living this baseball life. I got to squeeze stuff in when I can, so.
No, I definitely understand that. I'm not in the baseball life yet, but I'm definitely down the road going to have to deal with that same type of thing there too. So hats off to you for being able to juggle a schedule, win an NEBA title in the middle of it, and just keep right on moving.
Your boys are twins, right?
Yes.
I'm a twin too, so.
Oh, really?
Twins rule.
That's awesome. Matt and I were actually joking that your brother congratulated you right after you threw the winning shot there, and he said, "Congratulations, big brother." And then he had even mentioned, he was like, "I don't know if that means he's the older brother, or if that means his brother's just really small and Ryan's the big guy." But it turns out you had him by. I'm guessing you're the first guy, right? The first one out.
Yeah, that's funny because I'm big brother by like 10 minutes.
That's really funny.
That's why
We should. I like this because I'm planning on making my boys do the same thing. You got to get your brother to come around one time just to throw some people off in the building. Maybe wear a Ladlee shirt himself and just.
We haven't really played those games before, which I don't know why we haven't, because a lot of people have some good stories with that sort of stuff. But I don't think we've ever messed with people like that.
Man, the boys are already doing daycare. They apparently the teachers have told us many times that, oh no, he says he's Max and he's Troy, and it's vice versa. And I think they have fun with it so far. I'm a little worried about it moving forward, but because I don't want them to parent trap me or whatever it ends up being for that part of it. So, but here we are again, 10th frame. You're already wrapped up at this point, going through the routine, and I just want to point that out again and again, as I said I was going to. And this that's a great shot right here. I mean, it doesn't get more pure than this. It's beautiful, beautiful shot, and just the emotion. I wish not that we had the audio up. I wish I had a live camera on you at that point. I wish we had multiple cameras to be able to keep a live one on you at that point, because just watching you air it out on the approach, it touched a lot of people. A lot of people that were standing there, and like I said, afterwards, I had people come up and comment to me and like how cool the moment that was, and like how relatable it was. So, and if anything, your next one was just as high flush, I'm pretty sure. So, very very cool moment for you there. Before we start kicking you out of here, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Your drillers, your sponsors, anything like that?
First of all, I would really want to, I kind of take a unique approach to how I get ready for tournaments and how I prioritize tournaments. Like, I don't bowl league at all.
Same.
2018-ish, I thought I was retired because I basically just got sick of the whole scene. I bowled nationals in Syracuse and just took my stuff, and my kid was just born, and I'm like, I don't enjoy this anymore. I'm not getting better. I don't understand what to get better with. I came back. I started, when he got a little older, we started coming out of COVID. We started bowling together a little bit, and then I kind of around our capital region, New York, we have this thing called the Capital District Challenge League, and it's singles. You show up, and I don't know if you've heard of. There's a few NEBA guys from like I've seen Andrew and Bruce there before, and a couple other guys from Massachusetts and stuff. But
sure,
it's just something no commitment. It's cheap. It's just it's a different environment because it's all about learning, different abilities of anywhere, right? Ages anywhere.
Sure.
And it's just one of the most positive bowling environments I've ever been in. So that's been a big part of me being able to sharpen my skills, meet some great people. I'll shout out Eric Moret, one of the guys that dreamed this up and runs it almost 52 weeks a year. It's just ideal, just totally tailor-made for somebody like me that really just wants to compete, really wants to just challenge themselves and get better. Then I just find time to practice, fit it in whenever I can. It's usually Fridays. And then any other day during the week when I can. So I'm just fortunate to have that so close to me, and he's become a really good friend of mine. And I appreciate him. Inside the same bowling center, my pro shop guy, Bill Ray, I tell him, drill me some strikes. He drills me some strikes. And I couldn't thank him enough. Everything fits great. He knows what I need for my game. I'll shout out you guys because I get the rest of my stuff from there, and I have probably for 25 years. This first time I walked into Nutmeg was when I was 16, bowling JBT there. And that's why it was pretty special to win my first NEBA there. It's funny, I shared around a picture I had of myself outside in the parking lot when I was 16. And yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I look a little different now, but I've been going there for a long time, so it was pretty special to win there.
Absolutely.
course, my family, they just, you know, I would just love the balance I've achieved and, you know, having a great family life, still being able to compete at a high level when I can. Like, it's just amazing to me that I'm so committed to that, and I can still bowl and hang with all the great bowlers in the Northeast. It's just, I'm just so grateful. I've thanked so many people this week because you know how it is to struggle and struggle.
99% of NEBA is the struggle.
You get this one moment of glory in bowling. I mean, there's so many of us great players that show up to these things. There's only one winner that walks out of them. And it's just hard, man. So I'm doing a lot of thanking this week for sure. Hitting anyone that's ever had a hand in helping me. I'm just so grateful for any of that because I don't expect anything from anybody.
Sure.
So it's been a lot of gratitude this week. I'm so humbled to be a part of the club now. Bowl tournament
Yeah, it's
champion.
definitely cool. And you get to bowl at NEBA Tournament of Champions now, so we unlocked an achievement.
Yeah, it's special.
That's gonna be cool in itself.
Yeah.
Well, is that all you got for us as far as anybody else you would shout out or anything?
Yeah, I feel like I've covered all the bases this week. Made sure I showed everybody some love. They've been showing it to me, so it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool achievement, Ryan. We all get to watch the bowl a ton, so it's really cool for and there was a sizable crowd behind us too. I think just because of the way the format worked out, and everybody just wanted to stick around and watch a little bit too. So shout out to you again for winning not only the Buddy's Pro Shop Open. Shout out to Buddy's Pro Shop.
I gotta thank one guy that's kind of funny, but I want to shout out Chris Viale. We were bowling down on 25 and 26, and they pulled the curtain. We both agreed before the match that we'd hold it for each other when we were shooting our 10 pins. He very graciously held the curtain back for me, and I made it, so I didn't get my foot caught in the curtain. So shout out to him, of course. I mean, you guys, Chris Forey and Chris Viale. I mean, who does more for bowling than Buddy's Pro Shop? Chris Forey, Chris Viale. I mean,
yeah, all those guys, man. It's crazy the support system that we have around here. Once again, that's another thing that just makes NEBA. Obviously, it's its own special thing, but that's how it happens between that and the plethora of people that are behind the scenes that we don't get to see or hear about. There's people I didn't know that were involved in NEBA because I've never seen them bowl, and then suddenly it's like I'm working the media side of it, and then all this kind of blows up. So it's crazy how much effort goes into making sure all these events run well, and then not only that, but just the financial support that goes behind it, the hours of making sure that is the site working, are the graphics up, is the tournament information right, are the sponsors coming in, is all the money there, blah blah blah. So yeah, just like I'm just as grateful and thankful of you, and we really couldn't do it without the members. So shout out to the members, the people who continue to come out and keep supporting NEBA. We need everybody. We need everybody. The people who come and do it, the people who run it. It's all its own big thing to make it all as special as it is. So very, very cool times.
Yeah, very great sponsors, everybody. Anyone and everyone that makes this thing happen. I've been doing it for a long time, and I truly enjoy it. It's one of the greatest tournament experiences I get year in and year out. Proud to be
yeah, absolutely. And we get to do it all and basically year round. So it's not like we have an off season. We keep knocking them out every month. It seems like so.
Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those few crazies that bowls in the summer too, but I want to. I always have. It's nice to still have something if you want it in the summertime as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the summer times when we start heading up to the place where you start crushing them up north and the Vermont, New Hampshire type areas. So yeah, so other than that, Ryan, thank you for tuning in tonight. Congratulations on your win again. It was very, very cool to see. Many more to come, I'm sure. Just got to keep putting ourselves in the position and getting there. It's its own challenge, but I definitely see it coming for you. So thanks again for coming out and being part of the video. And yeah, we'll see you maybe not the next NEBA, but hopefully the one right after it. So
all right, thanks a lot for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it, guys. That was the interview with our 2026 Buddy's Pro Shop Open singles event here at Nutmeg. We have a lot of folks we want to shout out ourselves. Obviously, we're going to shout out our own folks here at Buddy's Pro Shop. But Dominic Greek here at Nutmeg Bowl, he offered us the lowest lionage of any center, dollar for dollar, that went right back into the prize fund. So shout out to him for being able to be so generous and to let us do that. Both some other centers hear that and they're like, oh man, we got to be competitive. So, but shout out to them. Shout out to all of our sponsors, Storm Products, for continuing to sponsor us throughout the year, especially at this event number 1061. If you guys are interested, once again, I just want to throw this up there one more time. And the major bowling singles event here are going at Brockton and Westgate Lanes, $1,500 added. Another Vincent Hall Memorial Cup Series event. Some more chances to bowl for more money, May 30th and 31st. So feel free to go ahead and go to bowlneba.com and get yourself signed up for that, as I add that to the stage a second time. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for the night. Just tune in for more NEBA news. Who knows what's going to happen? Have a good night.
Thank you for tuning in to our live coverage of today's event. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors and members for their continued support of NEBA. We couldn't continue to offer some of the best competitive events in the country without you. Your commitment to the sport makes all of this possible. We encourage you to support the businesses that support NEBA. When you support our sponsors, you're directly supporting NEBA and the future of competitive bowling. Be sure to check out The House Bowling and receive 15% off all merchandise by using promo code NEBA at checkout. You can also shop I Am Bowling, powered by Logo Infusion, and save 25% off your order with promo code NEBA. Thank you again for being part of our community.